Twice in the 20th century, this was the World Cup final itself. They have been great, and right now they gather to remember the life of another great sportsman, Pietro Manea, Italy's Olympic 200-meter champion at the 1980 Moscow Games, has just died at the age of 60. An iconic Italian sportsman. He held the world record for 17 years until Michael Johnson broke it in 1996. Silence for him. And so to the game, a game which through the years has produced some of the most memorable, magical images football has ever produced. It speaks of Pelé and Del Piero, Rossi, Romario, Ronaldo. They are always big boots which Brazilians have to fill. 64 weeks from now, Thursday, June the 12th, 2014, Brazil will launch its own World Cup. Italy, beyond all reasonable doubt, will be there as one of the leading European contenders. And here they meet in what is a mouth-watering prelude to that. A little more than a year to go, but already a taste is developing for what the world can expect in South America in the summer of 2014. These two will meet again before that at the Confederations Cup in Brazil this summer. So this is a contest which can be perceived as a pointer. An early ball lifted forward towards Pablo Osvaldo, who's face-to-face with Luiz here. Osvaldo against Luiz, who could hurry out of trouble, but was close to dashing into it as he met De Rossi on the edge of the penalty area. A forceful start from the Italians, who haven't beaten Brazil since 1982, one of the great games of the Spain World Cup of that year in Barcelona, the Rossi hat-trick. Here's Hulk with a shot that lacked force and provided little by way of challenge for Julio César. Gianluigi Buffon in the Italian goal. Montalivo. It's a good ball for Giaccherini, who's drawn the first save of any note from Julio César. He is a little dasher and darter. He's capable of finding space and worrying a fullback. And Giaccherini certainly concerned the Brazilian keeper here. Getting ahead both of Osvaldo and Balotelli and winning the game's first corner. Held as far as Montalivo. Taken up by Pirlo. Montalivo. High from Osvaldo. Come down behind Bonucci, who got forward for the corner and now has to get back with equal speed as Oscar threatens. Normally dealt with by Barzagli. Hernanes. Felipe Luis of Atletico Madrid. Dante of Bayern Munich. Luis of Chelsea, and then Alves of Barcelona. Fernando. And Hulk. Well, just beyond Neymar. And inaccurate from Fred of Fluminense. His fourth year back in Brazil in terms of his domestic club football after 4 years in Lyon, 3 times French champion. Osvaldo by Hernandez. The referee is Swiss. He's Stefan Studer, 37-year-old. His last couple of Swiss domestic league games have been eventful. Between them, the last two games have included 2 red cards and 3 penalties. De Rossi. Maggio. Must be a game of particular consequence to Pablo Osvaldo, given that he is Argentine-born. The nature of the football rivalry between Argentina and Brazil needs no further expansion. Here is Hulk, looking to receive from Neymar, whose hit is repelled with good force by Gianluigi Buffon. This is the boy they're all looking at right the way around the world. Neymar of Santos. Just about all of the well-heeled major European clubs would love to have a piece of him. He's one of those who glides over the turf and gets plenty behind his strike. Felipe Luis. Hernandez. Game for him too, given that he plays his football in Serie A with Lazio, so will be well known to most of those against whom he plays now. Dani Alves, away from Montalivo. He recovered his ground and the ball. De Rossi. Balotelli. Bitten at by Hernandez, dispossessed by a retreating Hulk, but awarded a free kick. Forward by De Rossi, and it came to Balotelli, who hit it first time. And Julio César flung out a leg and diverted it behind for a corner. What a very good start to the game. Busy goalkeepers at either end inside the first 6 minutes here. Second important save that Julio César's had to make. Balotelli took that clean first time. Pirlo's corner, behind by Alves for another one. Pirlo. He just keeps on going. 33 years old now, Andrea Pirlo of Juventus and latterly Milan. Giorgio's throw. Balotelli. And again Balotelli. Awkward for Dani Alves. It's not perceived as a back pass. He got there though because Osvaldo was over his shoulder. And won by Fred. Distributed by Fernando. Alves. Neymar. Hernandez. Felipe Luis. Oscar. Split the difference between Neymar and the back post. Oscar, as well as David Luiz, will be looking forward to Brazil's next game, which is on their home club ground at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea, on Monday against Russia. Fernando. Hernandez. Felipe Luis. Hulk. And again from Fernando, in by Felipe Luis. Kept alive by Hulk, but he's well dispossessed by Matteo De Chilio, for whom it would hardly have been a more glamorous international debut. Pirlo. Maggio. Balotelli. It's a clever ball for Pirlo. Moved on towards Osvaldo, and well read by Julio César. He's had an up-and-down season in the Queen's Park Rangers goal. There's been days when he's been inspired, almost invincible. It's a team that lost a crucial game in the English Premier League at Aston Villa last weekend. Queen's Park Rangers right at the bottom. Oscar. Dani Alves. To Rossi. Montolivo. Pirlo. Maggio. To Rossi. Pirlo. It's broken for Giaccherini. He has it nicked off his toe by Dani Alves. Neymar. Went early for Oscar, who in any case had wandered offside. For Luiz Felipe Scolari, a second game back in charge of Brazil. He led them at Wembley to defeat last month. Since leading them to the World Cup in 2002, he's been in charge of Portugal and Chelsea. He's been in charge of Bunyodkor in Uzbekistan and Palmeiras back home in Brazil. Balotelli and Giaccherini. But there is no greater managerial responsibility in global football than that afforded the man who will take charge of Brazil at a Brazilian World Cup. That is what lies ahead of Scolari. Hulk. Dani Alves. Hulk. Hit by Hernanes without force or threat. And just his 9th cap tonight in pretty inexperienced and relatively youthful Brazilian midfield, certainly in terms of the deeper positions where he partners Fernando. Been in really good shape for Lazio, who are 7th in Serie A just now, just 7 points behind the Champions League places. Balotelli shaken off it by Dani Alves. Hulk. Looking pretty disenchanted, but he'll come to life again now, Balotelli, who can run at Luiz. Balotelli shapes one, a foot wide. Via a deflection. No player in the major European club game in better scoring form than Balotelli right now. He has 7 goals in his 6 games for Milan since joining them from Manchester City. Right on fire, believing he can score from anywhere, and possibly, but for the start of Luiz, he might have scored then. It's Pirlo's corner, Luiz away. Clever from Oscar, much too clever for Montolivo, whose challenge was a needs must. And were it not a friendly, I suggest Stefan Studer might well have taken his name. Ball not even in the picture. He was so late. Dante. Hernandez. Something of a case of picking on Oscar. This time it's Maggio who's caught him. Dani Alves. He was hoping for a relatively quiet night, given that this is supposed to be a non-competitive game. And he's been informed pretty early that that may not be the case. There are some very competitive challenges. Here's Giaccherini. Out of harm's way by Felipe Luis. Quarter of an hour past, still no goal. But plenty of hints that goals may well follow. Certainly two well-occupied goalkeepers. Osvaldo. Dante got a bit of it, Osvaldo got it back. And then really spooned it in to Julio César. Dani Alves. Hulk. Dani Alves. Fernando. Hernandez. Oscar. Adventurous run from Felipe Luis. All the way from a left full-back for Brazil. Full-backs have always been inclined to get a long way forward, as Dani Alves fell there by Montolivo illustrates well. Barcelona boy wiggling one hip then the other, dropping one shoulder then the other. Montolivo, in fairness, seemed to take the ball. Look how far advanced Felipe Luis is there. It was a good read by Christian Maggio. Like his 125th Italian cap. Leaves him one behind Paolo Maldini, who's in second spot in that table with 126. Cannavaro still out front with 136. A pretty hefty hit from Fernando. You might not have had it at the front of your queue to strike it. And your 21-year-old from Grêmio. Hulk was poised. Fernando appeared over his shoulder. Wasn't too far wide. Maggio. He's been caught. Italy go on without him. There's Balotelli. And the header is wide from Osvaldo. Clever ball in from Balotelli, and a brave header from Osvaldo, given the height of Dante's foot. Scored 3 goals in his first 7 games for the Italian national side. Luiz, discomfited by Osvaldo. Drawing a foul from him. Still look from the referee. So the ball had very little to do with the challenge. Fred. Alves. Oscar. Alves again. Kept at bay momentarily by Pirlo. Julio affords Brazil the throw. Alves, that's a very good tackle by Montolivo. No question he took the ball that time. Balotelli. Montolivo's been involved in a fair bit of what rough stuff there has been over the first 20 minutes, but there was a lovely cleanness of challenge from him then. To Rossi. Barzagli. Through for Osvaldo. Kept by Pirlo. Aimed forward for Maggio, onside, and Julio César has come out and smothered really very well. Talk about the adventure of Brazilian full-backs. Well, nobody's got further forward in the game so far than Christian Maggio for Italy from the full-back position. Face to face with César. He made himself a big target and was duly hit. Brazil go in the world, there is a grand support for them, even out of neutrality. People will find the colours and wear them for the glamour that they bestow on anyone who chooses to take them on. There's nothing quite like Brazil. Dani Alves. Fernando. Hernandez. Neymar. And Hulk. Corner last off Maggio. Oscar. from Montolivo. By Giorgio. Back to him from Balotelli. Forward by Fernando. Nice take from Hulk. Aimed in early towards Fred. Missed entirely by Bonucci. Came to Dani Alves. And that's a splendid read by the young full-back to Julio. He's making quite a name for himself with Milan this year, still only 20. Harsh challenge by Luiz on the back of Balotelli. Hulk. Felipe Luis. Hernanes. Hernanes. Good start to Julio. It came to Fernando. Looked on towards Neymar. Fernando again. Hulk. Down by Bonucci. Pirlo ran into the cul-de-sac but found a way out of it. Brazil's form just either side of Christmas has dipped after what was a terrific European autumn for them. They won the first 6 matches of this European season, but they failed to win the last 3. They drew against Colombia in New York last November, and then lost where they least like to lose, in Argentina, before coming to Wembley and losing again. Not a run they would be inclined to continue. 4 without a win. Doesn't really happen to Brazil. Balotelli. Bonucci. Step forward by Oscar towards Neymar. And Fred and Rossi have now clashed. Midway inside the Italian half, and as Cesare Prandelli looks on queryingly. He has to establish where the fault lay. And he is taking Fred's name. Fred attempting to see the funny side. He's been in decent nick for Brazil through their slightly thin days of late. Scored their goal in defeat against Argentina, and indeed in defeat against England at Wembley. Bonucci. Won by Giaccherini and hit by Montolivo, a fair way off target. Montolivo in his first season since leaving the beautiful city of Florence for Milan. Third in Serie A just now, really competing with Napoli for second place. Juventus way out clear at the top. Chiellini. Free kick against him. Even the stewards in their luminous jackets look as though they're Brazil supporters. Luiz. Dante. Neymar. By Barzagli. Pirlo. Barzagli alongside Bonucci, forming an all-Juventus centre-half pairing, and even in the absence through injury of Chiellini. Taken away from Balotelli by Luiz, who's all too aware of the threat he poses from their time together in the English Premier League. Levo. Right from Osvaldo, Balotelli. To Rossi. Chiellini. Bonucci. Balotelli. To Rossi. Calmly dealt with first by Hulk and then Felipe Luis, and now Hulk can run away with it and feed it in for Fred, who's got support galloping up in the person of Dani Alves. Alves and Oscar right across the face. Some of the best football Brazil have played, but without a finish yet. Hernanes. Fernando. Alves. Cleared by Montolivo. Pirlo. Osvaldo. Taking on Dante. Came out to Pirlo, who's passed for Osvaldo. Found the Roma number 10 coming back from an offside position. Neymar. Lots and lots of space here for Hulk. They look to wrap it in towards the instep of Fred. It broke for Felipe Luis, and it's come to Fred! And Brazil lead! Crisp, close-range volley. And for the third international running, it is Fred who breaks through for Brazil. And once more, their global support dances its delight. Initially lifted in by Felipe Luis, it got a fortuitous touch at the near post, and it was wrapped in with power to add at the back post by the man from Fluminense. Really good clean finish. And the 5 times world champions lead the 4 times world champions just after half an hour. Well, 3 games without a win, Brazil. Italy themselves are 2 without a win. They lost against France in Parma just before Christmas. And they required a very late equaliser in Amsterdam to draw with the Dutch last month. So as they build towards the World Cup finals next year, they would hope for a turn of fortunes here. For them, in the very short term, this is a preparatory fixture for next week's World Cup qualifier against Malta, which ought to be a given. Having to hurry outside of his penalty area in the face of Hulk. Scolari would love to get that first win back. On the ground actually where he has managed before. It's a venue for the 2008 European Championships. This and his Portugal team won a couple of games here against Turkey and the Czech Republic. Given away by Pirlo, most unlike him. It's slightly presumptuous to be talking in terms of Prandelli's team as if they were certain to be at the next World Cup finals. Here's another look at the goal that they have conceded. It's Bonucci who gets that inadvertent nudge on in the middle, and Fred who finishes it. Italy are top of their World Cup qualifying group, 10 points from 4 games played. Already 4 points clear of Bulgaria, Czech Republic a little further back. So there's every reason to suppose that Italy will win their group. Brazil, of course, not having to qualify as hosts. So it's one showpiece friendly after another for them. And here they come once more with Hulk. Rolled in towards Neymar. He appreciates the idea. Challenge from Hernandez. Cesare Prandelli, who replaced Marcello Lippi after the last World Cup. He took his team to the final of the European Championships last year. To great public acclaim in Italy, where pre-tournament expectations hadn't been especially high. Did a very good job in Poland and the Ukraine, but ultimately they were well beaten by Spain in the final. Here's Giaccherini and Balotelli. Good distance on the parry from Julio César, who's had an immaculate game up to now. Maggio, Balotelli, top of Felipe Luis. Hugely energetic Maggio. He has really covered some ground in the first 40 minutes down that right side for Italy. left, the less experienced Julio. Barzagli, Giaccherini, Giorgio, Rossi. Really let it slip away. Balotelli, smart pass. Montalivo came back out to Giaccherini, and now Pirlo shapes his shot just wide. Pirlo with one touch, hitting the left full-back on the floor. With his striking touch, just clearing the far post. Winning tonight his 96th cap for Italy. A servant of his nation he has been. Clever return ball from Fred. Neymar, in goes Hernandez. De Julio certainly made contact. Whether it was legitimate is a topic for some debate. Sure, the retreating Italian, I suspect Scolari agrees, really had much intention ever to play the ball there. He appeared to play the man. Rossi. Julio. Here comes Neymar at pace. Fred one way, Oscar the other. He's played in. Oscar! Glorious finish. Beautiful, almost archetypal Brazilian goal. Buffon helpless. Italy 2 behind. Smart, penetrative passing. And a composed, gliding finish from Chelsea's Oscar. Coming in off the right and with the outside of his right. Delivering Brazil's second goal of the night. Is coming together for Scolari, back in the hottest of all managerial hot seats. Fifth international goal for Oscar in just 14 international appearances. Scored a couple early season against Iraq in Malmo. So many of these show games that Brazil play are on neutral venues. Shell. That was a beautiful pass from Neymar for Oscar too. Cunningly disguised and laid in convincingly into the instep. And for Oscar, who attempts to find the Samba beat. And appears only to find ridicule from Neymar. So what have Italy got now? Giaccherini, Maggio, bit of space for him. Osvaldo through the middle, and Balotelli aimed at Osvaldo! Oh, Julio César was scampering across his goal there, looking to scratch it away. Just got a finger on it, necessarily or otherwise. Certainly changed the direction of the ball. Even slightly early, the Swiss referee brings the first half to a conclusion. And what a very watchable event it has been. Predictably so, to really attractive teams who've passed with plenty of invention. Brazil, though, worthy of their two-goal lead, given them by Fred soon after the half hour, and Oscar 3 minutes before the break. They look as though they are right back on song. Brazil, as we know them. Brazil 2, Italy 0 at half-time in Geneva. So welcome back to Geneva, where Italy, trailing by a couple of goals to nil, have made 2 half-time changes. Alessandro Sassi has come on in place of Andrea Pirlo in midfield, and as you saw there, Stephan El Shaarawy has replaced Pablo Osvaldo in attack. 2 alterations then for Prandelli, none for Scolari. In a city where Brazil have thrived in the past. Brazil played here in the 1954 World Cup and beat Mexico 5-0 in Geneva. More recently they played a friendly here against New Zealand in June of 2006 and won that 4-0. 2-0 up against very high-ranked opponents here. Indeed, opponents ranked higher even than themselves. Italy 5th in the world right now. Brazil notionally 18th. But certainly not playing like it. Have a very good recent record against Italy, who haven't beaten them in the last 5 meetings since that standout game of the 1982 World Cup in Barcelona. And, Italy won 3-2. Rossi's hat-trick against Socrates and Falcao goals for Brazil. Their last meeting prior to this was in the Confederations Cup in South Africa in Pretoria, 2009. And Brazil won that 3-0. A couple of goals from Luiz Fabiano. He's not involved today. Here's Neymar, who was certainly involved to very good effect in the first half. And is right back in amongst it again. And it broke for Hernanes, who tried to slip in Hulk. That's an important read by Rossi. Moving by Giaccherini, now for the first time Sassi, who's had a very good season with Torino in Serie A. The substitute, Torino, Mid-table, 12th in Serie A. But seen him play a couple of times and does like to take on a full-back and often goes beyond him. As you see, he's a juggler. Bonucci. Jesse. And into Hernandez. Stayed down, quizzically for something from the referee, something that wasn't forthcoming. Barzagli, Cessi. Giaccherini, Montalivo, away by Luis. And here comes Oscar. Smooth goal shortly before half-time, doubled the Brazilian lead. Nicely spread by Holt. Dani Alves. Fernando. Hernandez. Stolen by Giaccherini. Referee's brought it back for Montalivo's indiscretion. Not his first. Neymar. Poked through for Fred. Luis. Hernandez, good ball. Dani Alves. Up by a diving Bonucci. Taken up by Montalivo. That's fouled by Holt. Balotelli. Cessi. Balotelli. Squeezed between two defenders. Arching his header over. There's 5 goals for Italy to this point, Mario Balotelli, of which 4, oddly enough, were scored in Poland. One in a friendly November 2011 in the opening of one of the new Polish stadia ahead of the European Championships. And one against Ireland in Poznan, 2 against Germany in the semi-final of the Euros. His most recent Italian goal, though, was against Denmark in the Seleção in October in World Cup qualifying. Denmark play the Czech Republic tomorrow in Prague, in a key game in the qualifying Group B in Europe. Fernando. El Shaarawy emerging with it, trying to get involved. Mexican wave doesn't bode well. It deserves better attention than that. I'm sure it is a statement at the game's intent, the game's expense. The second half hasn't begun quite as explosively as the first half did, when inside the first 5 minutes both goalkeepers were called upon to make pretty sharp saves. Just high spirits, I suppose. De Rossi, Balotelli, nicely done, Montolivo. El Shaarawy. And against Barcelona. El Shaarawy against Dani Alves. Seen that in the very recent past in the European Champions League. Balotelli, what a clever touch. El Shaarawy ran out of pitch. Did get a corner. Italy very much signalling that they don't feel they're out of this contest just yet. El Shaarawy giving Italy new legs. And it's took goal by De Rossi. And Italy are right back in it. Daniele De Rossi with little more than a twitch on the edge of the 6-yard box, which wrong-footed Julio César. Truth be told, it wasn't a great corner from El Shaarawy, but De Rossi threw out a boot in front of Dante, and it was enough to divert it home for Italy, who have more than a foothold now. It is a contest which is alive and well and could very easily still go either way. From a neutral perspective, perhaps just what the game required. Neymar pretty forcefully sent spinning by Barzagli. Making the case on behalf of his fellow centre-half. It wasn't quite as forceful as Neymar made it look. Which is perhaps the point Prandelli is making in the ear of the assistant. Once upon a time this would have been the territory of Roberto Carlos, not so long ago. These days there's a fresh young queue, as a part of which will certainly be Neymar. Hulk has come away from it. Luis not too far away. It is Neymar. And it's touched second time by Buffon, who had a decent view. To Balotelli, he's running at Luiz, and Balotelli has hit a screamer! What a fabulous, fabulous goal! And what a game we have now! Mario Balotelli's bolt from the blue! scoring. In the purple patch, he currently relishes. And he hasn't scored many better than that. In the colours of Milan or Italy, or indeed anyone else. A Balotelli beaut. And within 12 minutes of the start of the second half, Italy have reduced a 2-goal deficit against Brazil to nothing. Fernando. Hulk. Receiving now from Neymar. Good challenge from Rossi. To Julio. Through goes to Rossi. And draws a foul, and the Brazilians are looking a little rattled. Gloriously shaped goalward by Balotelli. And how proud Prandelli must be of this fight back. There aren't many who go 2 down to Brazil and find a way back into the game. Felipe Luis. The touch from Fred. And through goes Neymar. And here is Hulk onside. And he left the ball behind. Well, you just don't know what's going to happen next in this now. Giaccherini, Montolivo, El Shaarawy. To Rossi, Montolivo, Giaccherini. Montolivo. To Rossi. To Julio. Taken away by Dani Alves. There'll be some urgency from Brazil now, and there is movement on their bench. Kaká maybe with us shortly. Meantime, here's Oscar and Hulk. Driven against Maggio. One back by Fernando. Oscar, Dani Alves, Oscar, Fred. This time it was Buffon scampering across goal. And they've had the ball and found some rhythm in their passing, Brazil. They've been easy on the eye as ever. May well be that was Oscar's last contribution. First the corner before the change. Neymar's ball in. Alves away from Maggio. Nice. Long way over and wide. It's lovely passing movement for Scolari's team involving Oscar, who scored their splendid second goal just before half-time, but who now gives way to Kaká. Look forward, as I mentioned in the first half, to donning the yellow again. his home ground of Stamford Bridge, Chelsea, on Monday when Russia come calling. So Kaká comes on to win his 86th cap. His international career somewhat reborn over the course of this European season. Problem for Maggio. Caught by Hernandez. A card is shown to Hernandez for that challenge. Much like a club issue, that Lazio against Napoli. A little sly smile off the back of it. Montalivo, Chelsea, Giaccherini, Chelsea, Montalivo, that's got a deflection and comes to Balotelli! Denied by Julio César and away by Hernandez. Came back to Maggio. Out by Dante. Dani Alves. And now for the first time, Kaká. Well, it could so easily have turned from 0-2 to 3-2 in Italy's favour. Balotelli saw the whites of the goalkeeper's eyes. Julio César stood his ground. Neymar. Kaká. On by Fred. He's had a really encouraging debut for the full Italian national team. Selected for this team, whereas David Santon, who has previously been capped, the Newcastle player, is in the under-21 party this week with Italy. Giaccherini. Chelsea denied access to the penalty area by Felipe Luis. Dani Alves. Julio backpedaling. Alves saw Neymar. But Barzagli saw the danger. Balotelli. Another imprecise pass, pounced upon by Felipe Luis. Kaká. Hulk. Exchanging with Fred. And going rather too willingly to ground. Montalivo's shot, which became quite a pass for Balotelli, who was onside. So Julio César closed down his target area pretty swiftly. Kaká. Neymar. Fred. Just too far in advance of Neymar. Could be a brave man or woman who hinted at the likelihood of no further goals in this game. There's a lovely fresh openness about it. Precious little caginess. Rossi. Let's go by Montolivo. And taken up by De Sciglio. Montolivo's got a corner for Italy. Italy are making another change. Andrea Poli coming on to replace Mario Giaccherini. Actually, the game's very first chance did Giaccherini, Poli of Sampdoria, whose only cap was a second-half appearance against England in Bern, Switzerland, very early this season. And no sooner does he come on, and Italy are carving out another great chance. Bonucci's header right across the face. Bonucci knows what a golden chance that was to establish a lead for the Italians. The changes keep on coming. Fred has got his now customary goal, and he is replaced up front for Brazil by Diego Costa of Atletico Madrid, who's in pretty good club form, hence this international debut. His first cap in the famous yellow. Atletico just 1 point behind Real Madrid in La Liga right now. Costa scored twice for them at Osasuna last Sunday. Here's Balotelli. El Shaarawy. Rossi has to surrender a throw. Challenge that by Felipe Luis. He's yellow carded for it. There's 3 Brazilians in the book. Usual for a friendly to see how many yellow cards. Chelsea. Fernando. There's Kaká. An early struck pass. Neymar's not that quick. De Sciglio. Rossi. It's the 14th goal for Italy tonight. So, footed away possession there. Hernandez, Hulk, Felipe Luis, Neymar. Went over, but no sympathy from officialdom. Hernandez went in hard at the back of Balotelli, who is advised not to retaliate. Hernandez would be well advised not to make that sort of challenge, because he is one of those who has been booked. skating on very thin ice now. Scolari would presumably be cognizant of that disciplinary danger and might earmark Hernandez as the next player to come off if he is going to deploy all of his available substitutes. Chelsea. Fernando. Kaka. Hernandez. Hulk. Hernandez. Hulk. He's rising. The international season well did Hulk, who plays his club football in Russia now. Scored 3 goals in the autumn games. Another change for the Italians. Julio must be considered a really upbeat, encouraging debut. He's replaced by Genoa's Luca Antonelli, for whom this may feel like a debut. It isn't quite. He does have a couple of previous caps, but this is his first international call-up for 3 years. Oh, stolen niftily so that Balotelli can look to probe. Ending to Poli. And Dante's across the cover. And Sampdoria man freshly into the game. Losing a danger, in by Cerci, away by Dante. Here's De Rossi. For the first time, Antonelli. Montalivo. Barzagli. Montalivo. Barzagli. Poli. Balotelli. Nicely spread for Cerci. And Balotelli! Spooned up over the bar. Julio César looking exposed again and exasperated again. What a key intervention by Dante, who flung himself at that. Balotelli looked favourite to score. The Bayern Munich centre-half threw his frame in the way. Well worked out by Kaka. Now Diego Costa. Neymar. Hulk. It's not working out for him in the box at the moment. Hernandez. Felipe Luis this week. Looking pretty fed up. That was a nice kick of the ball for Felipe Luis, who is going to be replaced by a more familiar fullback, and Real Madrid's Marcelo. was a late challenge from Maggio. And the card is out. He's the first Italian in the book. Held with the back of Neymar's shirt and then clattered him across the ankles too. Buffon setting a wall of just two. Hulk and Hernandez behind the ball. Tony and Cersei in front of it. Flung in by Hulk and grabbed hold of by Buffon. De Rossi has evidently been done some damage. It may be that in falling on the ball he did the damage to his teammate there, Buffon. How this came about. Actually, De Rossi in retreat fell over Dante there, and yes, crashed into Buffon. Hard to tell whether it was friend or foe who actually affected the injury that's discomforting him most. So given that there are 6 substitutes available, it seems likely that he will be changed, and certainly that is the indication. Well, it's a great game to enjoy. You can get 30,000 into this ground. There aren't quite that many. But those who are here are being served up a very good festive sort of a game. Fernando. Comes the predicted Italian change. Rossi's replacement is probably an attacking one. Alessandro Diamanti, these days of Bologna. That is not a sight that will go down very well. The Roma dressing room. Key midfield man Daniele De Rossi injured in a friendly match. That's nearly got there first. And Luiz surrendered a corner. Last 10 minutes of a thoroughly engaging contest, which has included some smashing goals. Diamanti's take. Cersei looking for something spectacular to set amongst the other gems. Imaginative, perhaps rehearsed corner. Hernandez. Tugged back by Poli, and he is booked. Really 5 bookings in a game of this type. So both sides have evidently wanted to win. And it's on the receiving end this time. Brazil, who are making their 4th substitution now, and withdrawing Hulk. Mario Balotelli has scored one of the finest goals of his career so far tonight, and he is replaced by Alberto Gilardino. Whether that Brazilian change did actually occur, we shall see. The hope is still there. Holt. Intention seemed to be to replace Holt, but he carries on at least for the time being. Here's Antonelli. By Diamante, and hit by El Shaarawy wide. Julio César has been much more active, certainly in the second half, than Brazil would have wanted, and El Shaarawy had a fair target area there to take his shot on the run. Of Hulk, who is now finally removed. It is Jean, another from Fluminense. And the 2012 champions of Brazil. The 6-year-old recently joined those champions from Sao Paulo. Marcelo, Neymar, tackle from Maggio, in goes Marcelo again. He's freed Neymar. Hit on the run. His first touch by Jean. Deflects that kindly from the point of view of Gianluigi Buffon. Costa has 8 club goals this season for Atletico Madrid. The outgoing champions of the Europa League, they lost to Rubin Kazan of Russia just recently. Hernandez, Kaká, Neymar, Marcelo. Nearly came back out for Neymar. Retrieved by Kaká. He's got his free kick. Another foul by Montolivo. Actually, in fact, there have been 5 bookings. He's lucky to have seen yellow a couple of times, actually. Kaká sent flying. Familiar to Italians in particular, after his stellar years in Milan. And Neymar again. 3.5 minutes to play, game right on the edge. Fabulous contest. Is there one last twist? Neymar. Another plain one into the wall. Kaká. stars of the football generational scale. Neymar and Giorgio, who's just come on to win his 49th cap tonight. So since he scored an international goal, actually. He's due one. Big striker currently with Bologna. And then from Genoa. Poli. Gino battling for it with Dante, and the free kick is given Italy's way for Dante's flailing limb. Can Prandelli's team snatch it? Dante hits a sweet dead ball and is one of those lining up. The only one lining up. It is Alessandro Diamanti. Oh, goodness me. It's bounced back down off the moon. Really, he's infuriated with himself, and his boss doesn't look entirely thrilled. So just more than a minute to play, on top of which, the word from the line is 3 minutes stoppage time. Luis. Marcelo. Luis. Marcelo. By Barzagli. Chased up by David Luiz. Bit of space now for Dani Alves. He teases Antonelli. And lifts his cross beyond Kaká, so that Italy can now counter with Poli. One back for Kaká by Marcelo. On for Neymar. He holds off Maggio. Marcelo against Poli. Bullied by Kaká, fouled by Kaká. And one more Brazilian change, perhaps to save Hernanes from himself. He's in the book and he's not holding back. And he's replaced by another from Bayern Munich, Luis Gustavo. Just a third cap for him too. And Ramirez tonight for Brazil. He should be back. Chelsea against Russia on Monday.
Barzagli, too much for Giorgio. Fernando. There's Gustavo. Marcelo. Luis. Dani Alves. Return pass was overhit from Jean.
Montalivo. Chassis. Oh, clever. And then held up by Luis Gustavo. He's only just come on. It wasn't for being passed. And this is likely to be the last offensive set piece of the game. Those Brazil followers have one last anxious moment. Not that they really do, anxiety. They're here to enjoy it. And it's been a very enjoyable football match. But there might just be one last event in it to savour. Diamante's free kick. Chased down by Poli. It's come out for Marcelo. The scheduled stoppage time is up. The game is over. And they'll settle for that. Certainly the public in Geneva will settle for that, because they've been spoilt by a really most enjoyable contest, which has included a couple of truly memorable goals. Brazil 2 to the good at half-time through Fred and deliciously through Oscar. But Italy came out with renewed vigour in the second half and themselves scored a couple of terrific goals. De Rossi's with a little twitch from a set-piece, and then Balotelli with a glorious hit from a long, long way out. Both of these great football nations still await their first victories of the calendar year 2013, but each looks relatively satisfied with the final score here in the Stade de Genève of Brazil 2, Italy 2.